All right, guys, thanks everybody for your patience. Cody Garbrandt will be joining us here in a few moments. Thomas Almeida transported for precautionary purposes. Tonight's attendance, 5,193 for a live gate of $359,000. $50,000 bonuses, fight of the night, Jeremy Stevens and Henan Barao. And performance bonuses, Collier and Garbrandt. First question.
Start out with Brian Caraway, please. Obviously, a big win for you tonight. Talk about after the first round. I mean, things obviously didn't go your way in that round. What was the feeling at that point, and what were the adjustments you made?
Obviously, I clearly knew I lost the round. And I just needed, I had great corners, Coach Robert Falls, Misha Tay, Eric Nixick, and, I just need to switch up game plans. I was kind of waiting for him, trying to fight his style a little bit, waiting for him to shoot and not imposing my will. And, round two, I came out and imposed my will. I said, this is my, this is my ring, my octagon, this is my style, and I'm going to bring the fight to him. I wanted to strike and stand a little bit more on the feet and trade, but he was so elusive and, running away. He didn't want to engage in that, so I had to beat him at his own game plan.
You've had to deal with so much doubt, hate, criticism, all those things throughout your career, but this is one of those kind of gut check type of victories. I mean, do you think this is something that might finally actually earn you some respect, or have you gotten to the point now where you just don't even care what the fans say anymore?
Who knows, man? I keep beating top-ranked guys, and I'm the underdog every single time, and I welcome it, Every time I do, a big win, it's not enough. There's some sort of excuses. So as long as the UFC is happy with my performance and they're my bosses, they pay my bills. So that's all I care about.
And lastly, there's a lot going on in the bantamweight division right now. A lot of big fights lined up, but people are talking about where this would put each of you with a win. Have you had time to consider where do you think this puts you, and what do you think should come next for you?
I think this puts me in title contention. I mean, Aljamain Sterling, the only guy ranked above him was Barao. Barao moved up to 45. And Dillashaw and Faber's already fighting for the title. Dillashaw's already fought for the belt, and he already has a match lined up with the Sun Sao. So I think I'm right there in the mix. Garbrandt wasn't even ranked before, not saying he's an amazing fighter, but he wasn't even ranked. So I think for him to leapfrog from not even being ranked above me would be ludicrous. But I think I'm the highest ranked guy now that hasn't fought for the belt.
Thanks, Brian. Quickly, if I could, for Jeremy. Obviously, a fantastic win for you as well. I think rounds 1 and 2 were pretty clear. Round 3 was a close round. Talk about how you felt, and at the end of round 3, how confident were you that you had done enough to take the win?
I felt amazing. When I'm in there, I'm pretty much blacked out with a game face of just go forward, crush it. And, I just felt confident in the rounds. My coaches tuning in really good tonight, hearing everything that they were saying and just throwing with bad intentions, moving forward and putting it on them. That's really what I wanted to do, and got the job done.
You mentioned a promise from Dana. Obviously, Dana's not here tonight, so can you elaborate on what was promised?
It's more personal. Me and him have been friends for a long time, and it's good to always hear from your boss. He basically just told me, hey, you got this fight, and it's a big fight. Looking forward to seeing it, and I just really want to come here, put on a show. Barao is a tremendous champion, as you know, and he's devastated a lot of people. Coming up to 145 pounds, I just felt like I'm the bigger, stronger guy. I know what he's capable of, and I just wanted to go forward and not let him get that momentum. And I was trying to knock him out. I landed some big shots tonight, and he's a true warrior. He's a true champion.
Another one for you, Jeremy. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I was curious, just he had just had 2 fights with TJ, who had a lot of success against him, obviously, and I'm just wondering if you saw anything. I know that you and TJ are different fighters, but when you were watching that, was there anything that you picked up on that then was shown in the fight tonight?
Yeah, TJ Dillashaw, another great former champion. He put it on him. He was just able to go forward and not allow him to be bullied, and he utilized a lot of swift techniques, and he broke Barao. Barao had tremendous training camps for that, and he was able to TKO him twice. And, I hit a lot harder, and I wasn't able to knock him out or TKO him. It just goes to show the true champion that Barao is. And I've been in situations like that, being 0-2 and finding that hunger in the gym, just really to get back and just get up here on the stage with the win and talk to everybody. So I've had that hunger, and I really put myself in Barao's shoes this camp, and me and my team had a tremendous game plan. And we just wanted to go beast mode tonight. We know that when I turn it on and I turn into the savage guy that I am when I fight like that, I'm pretty much unstoppable. And I feel great with this win tonight. And Barao, he's tough.
And one follow-up for you as well, Brian. I don't know if you'd even call it animosity, but it was, he was trying to be, sportsmanship with you during the fight, and then you didn't want to touch his gloves or whatever. It was probably due to a lot of things that he said. I mean, was this one of the more satisfying ones just on a personal level, or you've fought so many times in your career? Did you not really take it personally? It was just you didn't want to touch his gloves after everything he said.
No, man, you can't talk shit about, me, my relationship, everything about me, and expect to come to a fist fight and expect to be all hunky-dory and shake hands, before the fight. So, I was just in the mindset that I was there to do work and beat this guy up and handshakes, and we hugged or whatever afterwards in the back room, and we're cool afterwards. But before that, I was in a mindset that, I was going out there to kill that guy. And for me, it was just, not because all the things he said, I wasn't animosity about that, but I'm not going to be friendly either, It was more about just beating the number 4 ranked guy. That's where I got the satisfaction. I wasn't satisfied from beating him from what he said. That didn't really do anything for me. It was the number that he had in front of his name, and that's what I wanted.
And then Rick, if you could just talk about being in the cage again, after everything you went through since your previous fight, and do you feel like you still have some momentum going? I mean, you were coming off of a massive win, before that layoff. So do you feel like this is kind of carried over to that, or are you almost starting fresh?
I definitely don't feel like I'm starting over fresh. I'm sure this kind of made a statement, like even having such a long layoff, that I'm here. Welterweight division, I'm putting them on blast. So if you see your name up against my name, you're going to be down for a fight.
Ryan, you said that this is more of the same. You've been fighting and beating the top guys, but when you're in the octagon afterwards, you said that this is a new Brian Caraway. Can you expand on that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, man, I'm just doing new things. I'm working with a new mental coach. I have a new sports doctor, keeping me healthy, and I'm just training and acting like a world-class fighter. I'm doing the little things that I think a lot of other fighters fall through the crack, and I believe that's the difference to be a champion. And I have my mindset right. Before I've struggled in the past with performance anxiety and letting that consume me a little bit with confidence. And now my newfound self, I'm ready to compete. I know my value, I know my skill set, and I can compete with anybody in the world.
For Lorenz, another great performance. Tell on social media, a lot of fans are really excited about you, especially at 170 pounds. What's been different for you since the switch? I mean, you seem like you feel so much more comfortable.
Well, at the previous weight classes, when we weighed in, everything was great. I felt like me and my opponent was, pretty much the same size, but the day after, day of the fight, the guy's packing on a lot, and I wasn't packing on a lot. So, at this weight class, I feel like I'm either average or the big guy. You know what I mean? So it feels good. I feel great, and I felt great coming into this camp. I just started strength and conditioning, so it paid off for tonight, and I feel great in this weight class.
Stephens, you said the whole week that Baron was mentally broken, and do you still feel like he's mentally broken, or did he surprise you at any moment inside the octagon tonight?
I reinstate that statement. He's pretty tough. He took a lot of big shots tonight, shots that I put guys out with. But yeah, I feel like mentally I did kind of break him inside the octagon tonight. I feel like him kind of give up. He didn't feel as strong. And, the game plan was to go forward and just keep putting it on him, pressure. And he didn't have the cardio tonight to just keep up, and I was able to keep mentally getting those barriers inside, where I'd break him. He'd hit me with a good shot, and I would just smile and keep pressing forward and landing big shots. And, he's tough. I thought I would knock him out, to be honest. I prepared to go all 15 minutes as I did tonight, but, I could have seen myself knocking him out, and I didn't. He's tough. He's a true champion. He's got a great chin, and I know he'll be back. I mean, the guy's a beast. I think he'll be back, and he'll do a lot more damage in the near future.
Question for Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy, were you surprised that so much of the fight was on the feet, that Barao either wasn't able to take you to the ground, or do you just attribute that to your takedown defense?
Just contribute that to my takedown defense. I got a great wrestling coach, Daryl Christian. You know, I have a great team. We wrestle hard. We go for hour, 75 minutes. We've wrestled before in this camp nonstop. We didn't take 1 minute break. You know, it's a mental barriers that we go through. Eric Del Ferro being the head coach, you know, he brings us mentally strong. We're well prepared. And I have good uppercuts and knees that I was able to utilize in feints and fakes. And, you know, when I exchange with people, I'm known to knock a lot of guys out. And I know they're going to try to take me down. So that's part of my game plan is to uppercut, knee them, and just break them like that. So I wasn't really surprised.
Question for Rick Story. Rick, I saw Neil Melanson posted congratulations. He said that you had asked him to corner him last minute. Is that a relationship you'll continue at this point? You thought about that?
You know, he brought it up, and it's not anything that I'm going to pass by. Neil's a great grappling coach. I mean, one of the best I've ever experienced. So I'm definitely going to think about that opportunity that's available to me and make a decision down the road.
For Cody Garbrandt, Cody, in post-fight comments, you stated definitively you thought you should be looked at as top 10. John Anik said it might even go higher than that at this point. Where do you consider with this win, what is it that you would expect in terms of standing, in terms of your next opponent? Do you feel like it's definitively, will be a top 10 opponent?
First off, I deserve some respect. That's going out there talking about a 21-0 guy who just ran through everybody and knocked him out in under 3 minutes. So let me get at least in the top 10. Let me get these guys that I want to fight. These guys that are high caliber. The higher the opponent for me, the more that I shine.
And lastly, for Lorenz Larkin. Lorenz, Jorge Masvidal had a couple of guillotine attempts on you. Were either one of those close at all? Were they a concern? And then secondly, it was a split decision. Do you feel like it was that close of a decision, or do you disagree with the scorecard there?
I don't know, man. Lately, I've been disagreeing with a lot of the judges' scorecards, so it is what it is. And with the guillotine, like I always say in my fights, man, everybody just thinks I'm the striker. I have a jits game, but if I don't have to use it, then for what? You know what I mean? And I just don't see myself getting tapped out like that. I really believe in my jits game, and I'm not gonna get tapped out to no standing guillotine. It's not gonna happen. So,
Quickly, if I could, for Rick, a lot of talk going in about your neck. Can you talk about physically and maybe psychologically also how you felt? I mean, it was a grinding type fight, a lot of clinch work. How did you feel? And I mean, is it a concern moving forward, or is this fine?
When it happened, it's been kind of a recurring thing that I've been experiencing through my entire career. It actually happened through college wrestling. I had stingers and everything, and then messed up discs. And I went in and saw a specialist, and actually got 2 artificial discs put in my neck. And what caused me to go see the specialist is I went in for a takedown in sparring, got a stinger, lost all the function of muscles in my right arm, couldn't pick up a pickle jar. My girlfriend could beat me in arm wrestling. And I wasn't going to go fight Eric Silva my last fight with one arm. So I had to pull out, and I had to do something to get it fixed. So I went in, and these cervical discs that they put in, I feel like my quality of life is so much better. I can lift my head without feeling pain. I can turn. I feel strong, and it's not a concern. I trust in the hardware. Right?
Thanks, Rick. For Cody, you obviously called your shot. You said you were going to get it done in the first round. What was it that you saw in Thomas, or was it belief in yourself? Why was it that you thought you could get it done so quickly?
It's definitely I believe in myself. I believe I'm the hardest hitter in my division. But I felt his energy. I felt his energy at weigh-ins. I could just feel a different vibe from him. And right off rip, I know he's a slow starter, so I know how to get on him. And once I knew I landed him, one of the shots was hard. I saw in his eyes he started bleeding, and he wouldn't come forward on me like he does in other fights. So I knew I had to jump on him early. Like I said, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. He's a slow starter. I had to get after him. But I saw the speed difference and definitely the power difference.
I know you haven't had a chance to watch it back yet, but it seemed like everything you did worked tonight. Initial thoughts on your performance. I mean, it seemed almost flawless. Are there any criticisms, or do you feel you just executed perfectly tonight?
You know, I believe in myself, my coaches, and my teammates. They had a game plan. I heard everything in the corner, what we worked on all week. We had fun. You know, everyone labeled me as a talker, but I like it. It's a fight. You know, I'm going to talk shit and back it up. But and I enjoy it. You know, that's our Team Alpha Male credo, is enjoy it, have fun, enjoy the journey. But, yeah, I just enjoyed it out there, and it was a fun week, you know, especially with the Brazilians, you know. So it was good to come in here and get a victory.
It's a pretty exciting time in your division right now. I know you said you want a big opponent next. I'm sure you'll get one. How quickly do you want to fight again?
You know, UFC 203. Steve Miocic is defending his belt in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I spent a lot of my time in my amateur career, boxing. It's an hour and 20 minutes from my hometown. I would like to, you know, dance with someone there in the Quicken Loans arena. And whoever it is, you know, the UFC wants to give me, I'm more than ready for.
Sounds like a good idea, Cody.
Hopefully the Cavs, you know, get that final win. You know, got Stipe winning the title, the Cavs, you know, going back there in September. It's gonna be rock and roll for sure.
Hey, Cody, were you able to get any kind of reaction from Dana White, Lorenzo Fertitta, Sean Shelby? Any of those guys give you any kind of reaction to what happened tonight?
I just went over there before Thomas walked out and said, "This is my night," you know, and just thankful for the opportunity that they trusted in me and Thomas to come out there and fight our hearts out and put on a show for the fans. But it was a stacked card. You know, I have some of my idols that were fighting on the card. You know, I was watching Jeremy Stevens, these guys all up here. You know, that's motivating me. You know, watch them going out there and be warriors and being savages themselves. So I just knew I had to go out there and perform, and I was just very thankful and blessed that they gave us the spotlight.
Do you feel like that's something you got to maybe continue to publicly ask for? Because you weren't all that thrilled with your matchups last year, right? I mean, you and I have talked about it before, where they kind of, did you feel like they were kind of slowly taking you along and you felt you could have taken a quicker route to ranked opponents?
Yeah, I believe that that's why I was calling out some ranked opponents. No disrespect, I just believe that the higher the rank the fighter to me, the better the skills, the better that I come out, the brighter the lights, the more that I shine. So I need, you know, these top fighters, you know, to bring it out in me, and that's why I want to, no disrespect to any of these guys that I'm fighting, and I'm going to say what I'm going to do to them, but they're going to bring out the best in me. So, yeah, I definitely want top 5 fighters, and that's truly what I believe that I'm at.
Do you not have anybody specific in mind? I mean, I know there's a title fight coming up, and you don't know what's going to happen with that, but like you said, you have been calling out guys by name. Is there any name that interests you right now specifically?
No interest in any name, just whoever wants to come and dance with me in UFC 203 in Cleveland. You know, strap those boots on tight, 'cause I'm going to knock you out of them.
We'll take 2 more. Go ahead, Andreas.
Question for Brian. Question for Brian. There was a weird, like, full Nelson that Aljamain had you in the first round. Did that hurt at all? Were you in any trouble there?
No, it's just that was like a high school wrestling move, power half Nelson, and then I just kind of got stuck, and there's nothing I could really do. It wasn't hurting. It was just kind of holding me, and I shouldn't have let myself get quite in that position. But yeah, it was just a matter of time, just kind of wait until he let go and decide to transition.
And with the neck crank in the first round too, were you in any trouble in that?
No, I had one hand on the inside, so like I turned my face with it. You know, grappling's my game, and I felt 100% confident there. Wasn't worried at all. You know, probably that's why I ended up in that position. I was a little bit too lackadaisical on that, but yeah, it wasn't even close at all. I had my whole left hand inside, like he was on my cheekbone, so no, not even close.
Question for Cody. Thomas is a guy that's known to get rocked in fights, and usually after he gets rocked, he comes on strong. But it seems like as soon as you got on top of him, you knew it was time to finish him. Can you kind of walk us through the finish a little bit?
Like I said, I'm the most powerful puncher in my division. I knew once I found his chin, he was going to go to sleep. I just, you know, thought he was going to throw a little bit more, but the speed is really what threw him off. My speed has been developed with my coaches, and I get better and better, more comfortable in there each fight. So I was a little not hesitant, but I was waiting for those counter elbows to come. I kept seeing him pull for him, but the speed was just too much for him, and the power. You know, every time I hit him, his eyes was rolling. He had blood coming out of his face, and just know I had to settle in, not get too crazy, get caught with something, because he is a skilled fighter. You don't get to be 21-0 without having skill and heart, and he comes back like Pickett knocked him down a couple of times and broke his nose, and the kid's got heart, and this is the fight that I wanted. You know, I want to fight fighters in my division.
Now, I mean, everybody's asking who you'd like to fight next. Now, obviously, you've had words with TJ Dillashaw. How closely are you going to be watching that fight, and does that intrigue you, the winner of that fight?
Anybody that's ahead of me intrigues me. Anybody that's just another stepping stone for me to get to the title. That's what I got into this sport for, is to be a world champion. And, you know, I made a pact to my buddy Maddox Maple that he beat cancer and I was going to be the world champion and bring the title back to my city. So I'm on a vision quest, and that's what I want to do, is be a world champion and give him the title.
Did you get a chance to talk to Maddox after the fight?
Yeah, I actually walked out and saw him. He got waving his 922 flag, and just seeing that, just seeing him fight for his life over the years and to have good times. It's I know it's part of me to keep those good times coming. Now he's still, he's in remission and he's doing well, but he always comes up and sees me before I'm a fight, and he picks the hand that knocks him out, and he's been 100% with the right hand. He picks the right hand every time, and I trust in that damn thing.
Thanks. Question for Jeremy. I mean, you talked about him, the mental thing, but were you surprised at how well he was able to take your punches? Because even though you hit him with a lot of hard stuff, he kind of stayed in the pocket and came back for more.
Yeah, for sure. Renan Barão was a former 135-pound champion, and him coming up a weight class, I feel like he was going to be a little bit more healthier due to the weight cut. He's going to he looked pretty big tonight. He looked a lot more healthier than he did at 135 pounds. So that was suspected. If he can keep taking it, I'll keep dishing it out all night. I come in great shape. We're training with the best camp in the world, Alliance MMA. We're on a roll right now. So Alliance is doing great, and I'm super proud of everybody there. I'm got great coaches behind me, and we just put in that beast mode tonight, and we were willing to just keep doing it all night. I could have done it for another 2 rounds.
And what is your opinion on the state of the featherweight division right now? I mean, we know what's going on with the title, and where do you factor into this after this victory?
I'm always in the mix, man. I feel like I can knock anybody out in the world. I've been proven to take out the top guys time and time again. I've had a few bumps where I've been set back, but it's just off like a weird decision, people running, something like that. Then boom, I'm right back in the mix. So my goal is to stay healthy. If Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar drops out of UFC 200, I would happily fill that spot. I'm going to continue to train hard, and I'm healthy. So, I mean, I could fight right now again. So that's my goal. It's my plan, and I'm going to be dialed in, waiting for anybody to drop out.
Just keep going on your thoughts. If you're kind of looked at sometimes as the guy that always puts on a fun fight, always puts on an entertaining show, and maybe are kind of overlooked as like a true contender. Do you feel that's the case, and is that fair?
I really don't care what people think of me. I come in, I bring it. The fans love it. I personally knock people out to where they're stiff, and I love doing it. It's something I'm passionate about. It's something that's just been a God-given gift. I don't intend on wasting it. I had a buddy recently who trained with me, Jordan Parsons, passed away through a hit and run, drinking and driving, and it just really put it. I turned 30 Thursday, so really put like a fire under my butt to really just go after my goals, live each day to the fullest. And you never know when our last day is. I mean, you can get hit by a car, or you can easily die, and then I'm not here. So I just want to leave a good impact, leave a good energy out there, and just take advantage of these opportunities. I'm not getting any younger. I'm looking forward to taking everybody out in my division and being the featherweight champ.
Brian, it seemed like your fight was fairly easy to score. I mean, you lost the first round. It seemed like you won the second 2, but then they start to announce the scores. How concerned were you when you heard that he won one of the scorecards? Did you think it was a case of, hey, he got some push, and now maybe they're going to steal the decision from you too?
Yeah, I was, a gut check when they did that. When they announced that he won. One of the judges announced that he won. I just thought in my head, like, oh, man, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I thought I decisively won the other 2 rounds. I mean, the guy was running from him the whole time. He was throwing, little flippy kicks. He didn't do anything. He hit me with, like, 1 punch and 1 good leg kick. And I took him down and beat on him for, 3/4 of the round. Like, how does that damage not equate? Plus, with the takedown and control, I don't even know what these judges are watching. It just blows my mind. But I'm thankful, and I thank God that I got the win. I feel like I deserved it.
Also, any significance to the entrance music?
I don't know, man. I come out to the old school salt and pepper push. I used to come out to all kinds of different music every time, all old school rap, and I don't know. I just started winning with that one, and as a female artist group, and I don't know. I just wanted to do something different. It's been working.
So there was a lot of speculation. It was you were making a comment about the push that he got promotionally. That's not the thought process.
Had nothing to do with that, but Salt and Pepper actually was in town and had a concert last night. So, but yeah, had nothing to do with that.
And for Cody, a lot of people on Twitter right away after the fight, and John Anik actually used the same phrase, "A star is born." I mean, did you feel right after the fight that was like a star-making performance? And is that something that you're ready for? Not just bigger fights, but also to be kind of a public figure and a big star here.
I don't look at it like that. I'm going to stay humble and keep training. It's just a win. There's another man that was placed in front of me on my crusade to the title. So whoever they, just stay humble, and whoever they give me next, I'm ready for whatever the sports give me, the good and bad. It's not, this fighting is the highest highs and the lowest lows. So wherever this come with it.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at UFC 199 next week.